Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wonder why some restaurants just, click?
Hmm.
Why you feel something more than just, well, satisfied by the food?
Yeah, there's definitely more to it sometimes.
Today, we're digging into a really powerful ingredient, one that's maybe often overlooked. It's culinary storytelling.
Ah, storytelling. Okay.
Yeah, we want to move past just the basic menu descriptions and really explore how restaurant owners can use narrative.
To pull customers in, you mean, and
Yeah.
keep them coming back.
Exactly. Attract and retain. And we're drawing on insights from Maurice today. He's a hospitality pro, tons of experience in food and beverage.
Right, Maurice. And what's really great about his take is how structured it is. He actually has this framework,
Mm-hmm.
the 4 C's of storytelling, he calls it.
4 C's. Okay.
Yeah, construction, character, climax, and conclusion. It's sort of a guide for owners to think like storytellers. Diner on a different level.
Right. Okay, let's get straight to it then. Why? Why does Maurice think storytelling is so vital for restaurants now?
Well, he paints a really clear picture. Imagine 2 menus, right?
Okay.
One just lists things, pan-seared salmon, asparagus, lemon butter sauce, standard.
Yep, seen that a million times.
But the other one tells you more. Something like our wild-caught salmon from sustainable fisheries way up in the North Atlantic.
Oh,
Pan-seared just right, served with asparagus from a local farm down the road, and finished with this amazing lemon butter sauce made with, say, small batch Vermont butter.
wow. Okay, yeah. The second one definitely paints more of a picture, even before tasting it.
Exactly. Which one makes you feel more invested, more intrigued?
The second one, hands down, it feels like there's care behind it, purpose.
Spot on. And that's Maurice's point.
Yeah.
We're wired for story. Humans connect to them.
Right.
They bring up emotions, create an experience that goes way beyond just, chewing and swallowing.
So when you connect with the story,
You're not just buying a plate of food. You're buying into the whole idea, the feeling, maybe even a memory it sparks.
makes perfect sense. Okay, let's break down these 4 C's then. From Maurice. First up, construction.
Right. Construction.
What's the basic structure here in a restaurant context?
So Maurice says construction is about the narrative flow. You need a beginning, a middle, and an end. Pretty standard story stuff.
But for a restaurant.
Exactly. Tailored to that setting. Think about the beginning. How
Yeah.
do you start the story? Maurice has some really practical ideas.
Like what? Give us something restaurant owners can really, sink their teeth into.
Okay, so one powerful start. The origin of a signature dish.
Ah, the secret recipe kind of thing.
Sort of. Imagine like a pasta sauce recipe passed down 3 generations in the chef's family. Now that's a beginning. It adds instant history, depth.
Yeah, I like that.
Or another angle Maurice suggests is highlighting local partnerships. Maybe you work with a local beekeeper. Yeah. For your desserts or maybe a glaze. Mentioning that connects your food directly to the local area, the community.
That grounds it, makes it feel real, tangible. Does Maurice give a tip on how to actually use that beginning?
He does.
Yeah.
A really simple one, actually. He says, weave little anecdotes about those producers, those origins, right into the menu descriptions.
Oh, right there on the menu?
Yeah, short, engaging. It introduces the story behind the food as people are choosing. Connects them right away.
Brilliant. Simple but effective. Okay, second C, character.
Character, yeah.
This sounds like it's about the people involved.
Exactly. Maurice sees this as crucial for adding that human touch. It makes the whole experience feel less transactional.
Less like just buying a service.
Right. More like an interaction with real passionate people. So the characters could be maybe the chef, someone who chased a dream to open this little seaside place.
Or the suppliers.
Definitely. Maybe the farmer who drives up super early every morning with the freshest vegetables. Those people, their passion is in the food.
Yeah, those details make a place feel authentic, like it has a real heart beating behind the scenes.
Precisely. And Maurice has another practical thought here, too.
Go on.
If you have, say, an on-site herb garden, tell that story, even a small one.
Oh, yeah.
Or even just the story of the vegetable of the day. Where did it come from? Which farm? It makes even a simple side dish suddenly intriguing.
Turns an ingredient into a mini story. I like it. All right, third C is climax.
Climax, yeah.
Okay, this sounds dramatic. Tension, challenges.
That's the idea. Maurice says good stories often have some kind of hurdle, something to overcome, shared challenges.
In a restaurant. Like what? Running out of something.
Exactly. Picture this. Key ingredient runs out mid-service. Panic. But then a local producer saves the day with an amazing substitute. That's a story.
Okay, I see. Or maybe an experiment.
Totally. Maybe a dish made up on the fly, an improvisation that ends up becoming a huge bestseller.
Yeah,
That's the odds.
Sharing those kinds of moments
That's not it,
shows you're adaptable, creative.
Absolutely. It shows resilience. Maurice thinks owners shouldn't be afraid to share how recipes got tweaked or how the kitchen solved a problem. It humanizes everything, makes the journey relatable.
Makes you root for them a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and the final C, conclusion. How do we wrap these stories up effectively, according to Maurice?
Conclusion for Maurice is all about connecting the story back to the customer, to their values, their desires.
So making it relevant to them personally.
Precisely. Ask,
Mhm.
what does choosing this dish or dining at this restaurant mean for the customer? It could be about supporting sustainability, maybe?
Ah, like if the ingredients are ethically sourced.
Yes, the story might highlight how choosing that dish directly helps local organic farmers, or it could connect to well-being or tradition.
So the customer feels their choice is meaningful,
Yeah.
aligned with what they care about.
Exactly, it validates their choice. And Maurice gets practical again here.
House.
He suggests telling stories about, say, the slow food movement, if that fits. Talk about where your vegetables really come from. It reinforces that sustainability value
Right.
and also connects stories to positive eating. The idea that food can be both incredibly pleasurable and good for you. Show how dishes balance amazing flavor with health benefits.
That hits a sweet spot for a lot of people today. Pleasure and well-being.
Definitely.
Okay, this 4Cs framework for Maurice, it's a really clear roadmap. Construction, character, climax, conclusion.
Yeah, very logical.
But just telling the stories, that's not quite enough, is it? Maurice talks about something else.
No, it's not the whole picture. He really emphasizes bringing these stories alive, making them resonate. And he talks about sensory immersion.
Sensory immersion, engaging all the senses.
That's it. Not just words on a page or spoken by a server. You need to make people feel the story.
Okay, give us some examples. How does a restaurant do that?
Well, Maurice draws a contrast. Think about describing soup. You could say, our soup is tasty.
Functional.
Or you could say, a velvety, smooth tomato soup infused with the fragrant aroma of fresh basil. A taste that takes you right back to Grandma's kitchen. Or sun-drenched Mediterranean summers. See the difference.
Big difference. The second one uses sensory words, velvety, fragrant, aroma. It evokes images, feelings.
Exactly. It paints a picture. But Maurice goes further. He suggests actual multi-sensory experiences.
Like what?
Maybe blind tastings, olive oils, wines, cheeses. Get people focusing just on taste and smell.
Ooh, interesting.
Or think about ambient sounds. Gentle waves for seafood plays, like you said earlier. Or maybe live acoustic music that fits the vibe.
Right, setting the mood sonically.
Yeah. Or even interactive workshop. Let customers discover the origin of products firsthand. Maybe meet the farmer or learn a simple technique.
Wow, that really takes it to another level. Makes the story something you participate in, not just hear.
That's the goal. Create truly memorable, immersive experiences that deepen the narrative.
Makes sense. Now, Maurice also points out something important.
Yeah.
You can't tell the same story in the same way to everyone, right?
Absolutely not. He stresses tailoring the storytelling to your audience. Different people connect in different ways on different platforms.
Yeah, a regular customer versus a first-time tourist. They need different things.
Precisely. Or think about platforms. For the general public, especially, younger folks, Instagram is huge.
Visuals.
Totally. Stunning photos of gorgeous plates, but pair them with short, snappy captions that hint at the story. People love sharing those.
Okay. What about, say, other professionals or industry folks?
For them, Maurice suggests maybe LinkedIn. Share more behind-the-scenes stuff. The real challenges and wins of running the place.
The business side.
Yeah, or even technical things. A chef showing how they butcher a fish perfectly. Builds credibility, shows expertise.
And tourists.
Tourists often love local history. Tell them the fascinating story behind a regional classic. You mentioned Cassoulet earlier, or Tatin, perfect examples. Give them that unique cultural context.
So it's about knowing who you're talking to, where you're talking to them, and what they're likely interested in. Maurice has specific platform tips, too.
He does. He singles out LinkedIn for those owner-to-owner business reality story, sharing the journey.
The ups and downs.
Exactly. And Instagram is the go-to for those beautiful appetite-whetting photos of the finished dishes. Visual appeal is key there.
This is all super practical, really valuable for owners listening. Now, there was one more thing Maurice mentioned, involving the customers themselves.
Yes, this is a really interesting point. Co-creating the story with your customers.
Making them part of it.
Exactly. Maurice believes your happiest customers can become your best storyteller. Involving them adds huge authenticity and builds real community.
Okay, how does a restaurant actually do that? Get customers involved?
Well, the obvious one is encouraging reviews, right? Online, word of mouth, and social media sharing.
User-generated content.
Yes. Create a unique restaurant hashtag. Make it easy for people to find and share their experiences, their photos, their stories connected to your plate.
Creates a little online hub.
It does. And Maurice also suggests more interactive things, maybe cooking contests or workshops where customers actually cook with the chefs.
Get hands-on.
Yeah. Those shared experiences become stories in themselves. People love talking about things they participated in.
That sounds like it could build incredible loyalty. Customers feel like they're genuinely part of the restaurant's world.
Exactly. It shifts the whole dynamic. Less transactional, more collaborative, more personal.
So, wrapping this all up, Maurice really sees culinary storytelling not just as, like, a marketing gimmick or a trend.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He frames it as fundamental. a core strategy
For what? What's the ultimate payoff?
for building real emotional connection, for fostering loyalty that lasts, and for truly showcasing the value, the art, the soul of your food and your restaurant.
By using that 4 C's framework.
Right.
Yeah.
Construction, character, climax, conclusion.
Embracing those sensory details, tailoring the message,
Mhm.
and bringing customers into the narrative.
Yes. By doing all of that, Maurice argues, owners can turn a simple meal into something much more, a memorable, meaningful experience.
This has been incredibly insightful. Honestly, it changes how you think about what makes a restaurant truly successful.
It's powerful stuff.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for any restaurant owners listening. How consciously, how actively are you weaving stories into every part of your restaurant? Think about it. Could that be the secret ingredient you're looking for to really connect, thrive, and build something lasting with your guests?
A great question to ponder.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Until next time.